Hey everyone, Luke here from LT Gaming, and today we're diving into 8 air power wargames that absolutely deserve your time in 2025. Now, just to set expectations, this isn't a list of flight sims. You won't find any full cockpit DCS or ace combat here. This is about the command side of air warfare, games where you're planning intercepts, launching strikes, managing radar nets, and trying to win the skies from the top down. And it was very much inspired by my time with Task Force Admiral this week. I've had a brilliant time playing the beta of that game. Make sure to check out my full video. If your idea of fun is thinking 2 steps ahead and controlling the air war from the map table, you're in the right place. And hey, before we get stuck in, if you enjoy this kind of curated boutique list content, drop a like on the video. That was boutique, not booty. It keeps the algorithmic spirits happy and lets me keep making deep dive wargame content instead of, becoming a TikTok dance channel. Alright, let's get into it. Sea Power puts you in command of modern naval and air operations in high-stakes Cold War-style theatres. NATO versus Warsaw Pact. Submarine hunt versus long missile strike, aircraft patrols from carriers, anti-ship missile, sensor warfare, it's naval conflict in the missile era. And your air power is front and centre. This one is fresh, released in late 2024 and already building momentum for serious wargame fans. It blends air and naval power in a newer engine, offering dynamic scenarios, realistic sensors and weapon systems, and that sense of high tension when aircraft and ships meet missile threat envelopes. If you want modern air-naval wargame action that spans beyond the carrier deck, this is it. On our channel, we're spotlighting air power wargames that stretch beyond the cockpit and into the broader operational theatre. And Sea Power delivers that fully. And honestly, even in its current state, this game is a lot of fun. I've enjoyed my time with it and want to revisit it again in 2025. However, it still has a long way to go, but I'm going to enjoy the journey. Scramble Battle of Britain puts you in the skies over 1940s Britain, commanding fighters as the Luftwaffe and RAF clash for air supremacy. You'll plan missions, coordinate intercepts, and watch the action unfold in a 3D airspace, all while balancing pilot fatigue, aircraft condition, and the chaos of war above the channel. If you want a wargame that drills down into air combat only with depth, this one delivers. Its turn-based tactical dogfighting system gives you planning space, real-time simulation of your results, and replay tools so you can watch your tactics play out from every angle. With its modern polish and still growing update roadmap, it's a sharp choice for anyone who wants a sophisticated World War II air wargame that doesn't lock you into a full simulation. If you're looking for that sky-centric combat experience with serious tactical meat on the bones, this is it. Harpoon Classic 97 is one of the foundations of modern air-naval wargaming. It drops you into Cold War and post-Cold War flashpoints where fleets, submarines and long-range aircraft all collide, intense layered operations. It's an old-school interface, yes, but under the hood is a serious strategic model built around detection, missile combat and coordinated airstrikes. The reason it still holds up today is simple. The design here is timeless. You get a massive scenario library, a huge variety of theatres, and a style of gameplay that rewards planning far more than clicking fast. If you enjoy air power as part of a bigger operational picture, this remains one of the purest ways to experience that Cold War chess match. It's one of the few classics that still feels genuinely gripping once you settle into the flow. If you're into the heritage of air power wargames or just want to explore a true classic, this one absolutely belongs on the list. Now, I think there was another version of this available on the Matrix store, which might have been more complete, but I never got access to that, so maybe let me know in the comments below. Carrier Battles 4 Guadalcanal takes us straight into the tension of the Pacific War, where carrier aviation really proved its power. This is a clean hex-based wargame built around scouting patterns, deck cycles, and timing those all-important carrier strikes. This is something I've been doing all week in Task Force Admiral. The beta of that game is really shaping up and I can't recommend it enough. This game focuses on the 1942-43 campaigns around Guadalcanal, Midway, the Coral Sea and beyond. I mean, what more do you need? It captures that cat-and-mouse air-naval warfare in a way few modern titles still attempt. What makes it stand out today is how focused and digestible it all is. It doesn't overwhelm you with deep simulation, but it still nails that decision-making that defined the era, where to search, when to launch, and how much risk you're willing to take with your carriers. The devs continue to add scenarios and refinements, and it remains one of the best ways to experience Pacific carrier warfare without needing to learn an entire manual first. For us on the channel, this is exactly the kind of air power wargame that hits the sweet spot. Historical, tight in scope, and all about the battle between reconnaissance and striking first. If you enjoy thoughtful, turn-based air-naval command, this is a brilliant one to dig into. There's nothing like cozying up on a nice winter's day and playing a wargame. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed. So make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly and both me and Tom really appreciate it. Fleet Command drops you into the late 1990s world of near-future naval warfare, well, near-future back then, where carrier battle groups, submarines, surface warships and yes, aircraft of course, all compete in real time for control of sea lanes, missile corridors and strategic choke points. It's a naval wargame through and through, but with airborne strike packages and maritime aviation deeply woven into the operations. Though it originally came out decades ago, the core mechanics still resonate. Fleet formation, layered air defense, submarine stalk and kill, and high-stakes missile exchanges. It has that old-school charm that many modern titles still chase. If you're after the operational tension of air power on the seas, this game gives you one of the purest flavours of that in the wargame space. A good and classic title for you to enjoy in 2025. War Over Mideast drops you into the skies of the Middle East from the 1950s through to the 2000s, where air power is the centre of the story. You'll manage squadrons, radar nets, strike packages and the evolving technology of Cold War and post-Cold War conflicts. It's essentially an air wargame that gives you both the historical clashes and hypothetical scenarios in the region. And being a wargame design studio title, the second one on this list is quite unknown. You'll have to go to their website to pick this one up, but I highly recommend it, one of my favourite forgotten wargames I've ever played. The game remains a standout because it zeroes in on the air war. No heavy naval side missions, but high tension, evolving tactics and rich scenario variety. The era alone means you can explore everything from early jet engagements to modern missile threats, and because the system is mature, you'll spend more time strategizing than struggling with interface quirks. It's a strong pick for anyone who wants a focused air power experience in a complex theatre. War Over Vietnam takes you into one of the most complex and defining air campaigns of the 20th century. From Rolling Thunder to Linebacker, you're directing strike packages, fighter escorts, SAM suppression and reconnaissance in a theatre where politics, terrain and technology all collide. It's a dedicated air power wargame built around the unique challenges of the Vietnam War. Long flights, dense air defences and the constant push and pull of air superiority. Vietnam remains a fascinating setting for air wargames because the battles aren't just missile duels. They're about planning, timing and careful resource management. War Over Vietnam captures that brilliantly. And of course, this is another game not available on Steam. I'll link the Wargame Design Studio website in the description below. This is one of the few titles that really captures what made the air war over Vietnam so tense and unpredictable, and that makes it incredibly compelling to revisit today. If you enjoy the kind of wargame where every strike feels earned and every loss stings, this is absolutely one to spend time with. I just think these air power games from the Wargame Design Studio are some of the best in their arsenal and are very underrated overall. Command Modern Operations is the heavyweight of air power wargaming. That felt really good to say. It puts you in charge of modern and near-future military operations across the globe, from carrier air wings and strike packages to missile defences, satellites and submarines. It's essentially a sandbox for modern warfare, letting you recreate real conflicts or test out your own scenarios with an enormous range of aircraft, sensors, weapons and platforms. What keeps this game so relevant today is the sheer depth. If you care about radar modelling, missile envelopes, electronic warfare, detection ranges or complex multi-air strikes, this is the gold standard. And if you wake up every morning thinking about these things, you have a problem. It's constantly updated, the community is active and the scenario library is enormous. Whether you want a tight 1-hour engagement or a full regional conflict, CMO gives you the most comprehensive air-naval command experience you can get. For anyone who loves deep strategy, sandbox freedom and realistic air-naval operations, this sits right at the core of our top 8. I really enjoy the Falklands War DLC, there's nothing quite like taking those islands back. And they also include some really awesome what-if scenarios, like if Britain had kept their big aircraft carriers and not scrapped them, they could have had Phantoms in the Falklands War. This is simply one of the best military sandbox or games ever made.